perform a story for you all to listen to. This story is inspired by Charlotte's Web and all the characters who were in Charlotte's Web. So here goes the story. It's inspired from the title Explosion, Chapter 11 in Charlotte's Web. Some things may be similar, but some things won't. So catch on to see the rest. So see, there was a small farm in the Manthura village. It was a very small farm and not many animals could fit in it. Only the chickens, horses and pigs lived there. Chickens lived in their own, they lived free. They didn't live in a crowded place, crowded shed. They didn't live there. They lived in an open grassy space. And about the horses, they were all in sheds. And also, they were getting feed. Also, and Wilbur, the name from Charlotte's Web, the pig. Wilbur was left alone and no one was helping him. But suddenly, a spider named Charlotte from Charlotte's Web came in, and suddenly Charlotte said, "Do you want to be friends?" Wilbur replied, "Sure, I have nothing to do around here. No one's willing to play with me." So, they became friends, and then on, they lived a good life. But until Tuesday. Tuesday, it was not a very normal day. Wilbur had a pretty bad day because Charlotte was sick. Charlotte couldn't make it up today. Charlotte was terribly sick, so Wilbur couldn't play with her. Although, he didn't know what was coming for him, an explosion. Exactly at 11:35 a.m., the explosion happened. It seemed very random, but all the animals flew away, and no sight of fear. They all ran away to some random village. It was called Manthura village. As soon as they entered the village, people started running away. They were like, "Horses, pigs! Horses, pigs! Help, help! They have invaded our village!" And then as soon as they heard it, people came in and started hitting the horses and pigs. The pigs screamed in fear and the horses started to attack. But one of the horses couldn't make it through, named William. William was a very brave horse. He was very sharp and brave-minded. He always used to fight for the biggest consequences everyone would face. But he couldn't make it out. People had killed him and beaten him very badly. Although the other animals escaped, they managed to make it to the farm. But the farmer was gone. They didn't have any sight of him. So what they did was wait until the night. And when the night came, they didn't have any shelter. And only a bit of a kennel was there. They thought, why would a kennel be here? There were no dogs there. Why would a kennel be here? Seems random. So the pigs thought, oh, this kennel is big. So it was a very vile and large-sized kennel. I didn't know if that was there. That was very weird, Wilbur thought. So they thought, okay, we are big enough to fit into this. We can go inside it and then rest and then sleep. While the horse continued to sleep on the grass. The horse slept on the grass. The next day, the farmer came back, known as Mr. Zuckerman and Mrs. Zuckerman. They were both a beautiful couple, and they were indeed the owners of that farm. And the Manthura village, they were commonly known as the president there. I don't know why someone made them the president. Although they weren't having it, they decided to quit. And the very same day, they built a new shed for the horses, and they went with a kennel idea for the pigs. Seems very random and strange, right? That's what Wilbur said. He was like, no, we don't live in kennels. We live somewhere else. We live on a grassy island. why should we put in a kennel? They made separate kennels. The big part and the biggest and the biggest and the best part is they made a kennel different from others, and it was very spacious. They had food in there, all-time food service, and lot more. They could also go outside to play whenever they wanted. They could play with the chickens. They could go to the horses' shed just to view them. I'm sure they're feared of some horses stepping on them. Also, let's continue on to the story. The pigs and horses were having a nice time because but they weren't feeling very well because William, he had passed away, and that was a very tragic incident. They weren't having it, so Mr. Zuckerman and Mrs. Zuckerman thought we could bring a new horse inside the shed. So they asked the village members, do you have any sort of horses? And one of the common farmers who lived in a city said yes. He had come here to the Mantura village to just do a tour because it was type of a temple. It was called a temple city. Although it was a village, but they called it a temple city. It was very good, spacious. There were temples all around for all the gods. And so on. Then Mr. Zuckerman and Mrs. Zuckerman took the horse back to the shed. Okay, and then they had a very nice time. Indeed, until Friday. Mr. Zuckerman and Mrs. Zuckerman had decided they would move to a city. So they, not nearby, called the animal transport, and they had taken them to the city of, also known as Seattle. There were many farms there. So they thought, why not, let's just rent one. Instead of renting, they accidentally bought them. They thought, oh no, what have we done? It was better if we just rented it for $300. But instead, they bought it for a whole whopping $24,000. They were shocked. Although, but happy type of, because they had bought a shelter for the animals to live, and yep, they were good. And then what happened, there was a very common war going on, okay? I don't know if there were some missiles launched. This tragedy happened again. The farm kind of blew up again. That was the worst part. They thought, again and again and again. It just keeps blowing. Oh, we can't have this anymore. We need a safe and sound shelter. So they thought, why not, let's transport them into houses. And what they thought of was a very bad idea. Very, very, very bad idea indeed. And also they moved them into houses. Next day, it turns out that the pigs have messed up the house and the horses have broken the house. So what they did is they let the pigs stay in the house. They told them not to just break things around the house. So then they reorganized and refurnished everything for the pigs and Wilbur. And I didn't tell you about the spiders. The spiders actually, they moved on in life, and then they moved on, they parted ways. They went randomly from the farm after the explosion before in Mantura. Okay, so we all get to know is tragedies always happen, but you can always stay chill about it. Also, did you know only Charlotte was one spider who moved with Wilbur, and now she lives in a house with Wilbur. Thank you everyone. That was all for today, and I would like you sharing this to other people to show them how I have made a story inspired on Charlotte's Web. Thank Thank you for your patience.